Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to start class 7 SST part Civics, chapter number 3, the state government, part 2. Student, in the last video we had read about the state government and its composition, where I taught that there is a legislative assembly Vidhan Sabha and legislative council Vidhan Parishad. So these are the two composition of the state legislature, where the Vidhan Sabha is present in every state of India and legislative council is present in some of the state of the India. Those are the 6 states where the legislative council is present. Also, we have read about who can be the person or the member of the state legislature, whether they are the Vidhan Sabha or the Vidhan Parishad, what is the criteria for them, what is the tenure or work period of those legislatures, and their functions, and the speaker or the chairman of the Vidhan Sabha and the Vidhan Parishad. So all of things we have discussed in the last video, and in that the last topic was the how the laws are made and the money bill. So this was a topic that we had covered in the previous video. Now in this video we will go for the state executive. So who is there to execute those laws, those which were made by the legislature? So let us begin. Now the state executive comprises the chief minister, council of minister, and the governor. So basically the executives are who? The chief minister, the head of the political head of the state, and council of the minister, the helpers, those who are helping the chief minister, as well as the head of the nominal head of the state, that is the governor. That we'll read separately in this video. Now let us start with the chief minister. So chief minister, the member, how they elect basically. Let us see. The member of the ruling party elect a leader from amongst themselves who becomes the chief minister. So who will be the chief minister? The party who got the majority seats in the election, and they form the government, that I explained. But who will be the head of that government? So they decide among themselves that whosoever is there will be the part of the that person will become the chief minister. So they will decide. Particularly the party leaders become the chief ministers, but sometimes the party leader may be differ and chief minister may be differ. So the chief minister is the important person of the state executive, because he is the political head of the state, means that he is the superior of the state after the governor. He can take all of decision that regarding to the chief minister. Now let us see some of the functions of the chief minister of any state, what the chief minister can do being on his or her post. Let us see. First point, he or she is responsible for the working of the government in the state. So under whose supervision the government will run? It is the chief minister. Means chief minister will be the head of the state particularly, and all of the responsibility that belongs to the state, that will goes to the chief minister. Now he or she is also a leader of council of minister. So council of minister are who? They are the helping hands of the chief minister. So he or she will be the leader of the council of minister or head of the council of ministers. Now he or she select other minister of the state and allocates their portfolios. So it is responsibility of the chief minister to select the other minister and provide them the portfolios. Portfolio means the work that is to be done by the particular ministry, that work is the portfolio. So the work of chief minister is to select the ministers as well as to provide them portfolio. Also, he or she can preside over cabinet meeting. So cabinet meeting is what? Council of Minister and other minister and including chief minister will preside any meeting. If they go for any meeting, so that meeting is to be presided by the chief minister. He or she coordinate the working of the various ministers, okay, with the help of chief minister. The rest of the minister are works. Now he or she will supervise overall administration of the state. So this is important. Overall means the rest of the work that is to be done for the particularly in the state, that power is with the chief minister. So he is the everything for the state, but below the governor means he or she has to take some of decisions or advices from the governor that we'll read in the next slide. So these are some of the functions that is the chief ministers will do after being the chief minister of particular state. Now let us see the council of ministers. So I had explained that the council of ministers are who? They are the helping hands of the chief ministers. So basically the chief minister is assisted by the council of ministers which look after the administration of the state. As I told you, they are there for the helping the chief minister in the administration of the particular state. The different ministers are in charge of various government departments. So means that what are the department? I will give you with example that like the department which comes under the council of ministers like finance minister, home minister, education minister, sports minister, agriculture minister. There are several ministers are there, those who comes under the council of minister. So these are there and these are known as the council of minister. They are for what? They are for the helping of the chief minister for administration purposes, for the administration in the state. The council of minister advises the governor and collectively responsible to the state legislature. So council of ministers are there to help the governor. Sometimes governor took advices from the council of minister to work, to take important decisions. For that purpose, governor sometimes took the help of the council of minister in their particular areas. Suppose if they have to think about the education department, so they took the decision of the suggestion of the education minister. So like that, if any council minister is not working well, suppose if there is a minister, the council minister basically, if he or she is not working well, so a no confidence motion against him or her can be passed in the Vidhan Sabha. So no confidence motion, it's a rule that helps us to remove that particular person from his or her post. Suppose if council of minister, if it is a CM, chief minister is himself or herself, so we can also remove him through the no confidence motion if a government or the council of ministers is not working well. So in that case we can remove that particular party or the particular government with the help of no confidence motion. Suppose if a government loses the motion, so entire council of minister has to resign, and if chief minister resigns, so entire council minister has to also resign. So this is the thing, if any minister does mistake, so he can be removed by the no confidence motion. If a particular party or government can do something bad or something that is not good for the state government, so for that purpose no confidence motion can be passed for the removal of the council of ministers. So this is the council of minister, those who are helping hand of the state head, that is the chief minister. Now we have to read one more head of the state, that is the governor. Basically he is a nominal head. What is nominal head? Means that he is the head but all the rest of the function is with the hand in the hand of the chief minister. Now the head of the state is the governor. is appointed by the President of India. So who will be the governor? That is the decision of the President of India. For how long? For a 5 period of time. So they will be there for the 5 period in a particular state. Sometimes these ministers, the governors, they run the government on the behalf of the the chief minister runs the government on the behalf of governor. How? See, governor is the nominal head of the particular state, and the real power is lie with the chief minister and council of ministers. So governor is there to just help them, to suggest them, or sometimes the governor is there to work as the particularly the appointment of the other council of ministers and the chief minister as well. We'll see with the functions of governor what the governor do basically. Before that, we have to see who can become the governor. What is the eligibility criteria for being the governor of any state? So the first is he must be the citizen of India. That is prior for everybody, for every post. Also, he must be above 35-year age. So 35 or more than that. He or she cannot be member of parliament or the state legislature. So he cannot be the part of parliament as well as the state legislature, whether the Vidhan Parishad or Vidhan Sabha or Rajya Sabha or the Lok Sabha. So he or she cannot be part of the legislature. Also, he or she did not hold any office of profit under the government of India. So they cannot have any government jobs. So these persons are eligible for being the governor of any state. So governor is very important, and governor is there to run, basically to help. It presents as a helping hand on the state level. His work is almost similar to the work of the President of India that they do on the central level. But the governor is there for state level. They are the helping hand on they are the helping hand of the chief minister as well as the council of ministers. Now, there are some functions of the governor, like governor appoints the chief minister and the council of ministers. So whose responsibility is to appoint them? It is the governor. So governor will appoint the chief minister as well as the council of the chief minister. Governor distribute portfolios to the council of ministers on the advice of chief minister. So who will be taking the charge of which department? That is to be discussed by the chief minister, but it is allocated by the governor of the state. So on the decision, on the advice of the chief minister, governor has to distribute the powers to among the all minister of council minister basically. He or she also appoint the advocate general. So advocate general is the head, is the legal advisor of the state, that is appointed by the governor general, that governor basically, that will read in the next slide. So advocate general is appointed by the governor. Also the judge of the district court. So the district court's judge is to be appointed by the governor of the state. Also chairman and the member of the State Public Service Commission. State Public Service Commission is for the particularly it is for the civil services and the rest, the part that help as a bureaucrats for the administration purpose in the state level. That is they are appointed by the governor of the state. Now, the president consults the governor in the appointment of the judges of the High Court. So, for particular states, High Court judge is appointed by the president, but on the advice of the governor. So, here it is also important work of the governor. The president can appoint judge of the High Court, but on the advice of governor of the state. Also, governor summons and ends the session of both houses and the state legislature. So governor can start the state legislature of both houses, whether Vidhan Sabha or Vidhan Parishad, and also he can end. Suppose he can start like that, he can start both of the legislatures of the Vidhan Sabha or Vidhan Parishad, and he can also announce for the end of the Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. So this is one of the powers of the governor. Another one, the governor inaugurates the state legislature after the assembly election and also addresses the first session of every year. So whenever the new party is formed, so that when they are going for the session for the first time, so that is also headed by or started by the governor of the state. And on that occasion, governor's speech is there. So in that first session or first speech, governor outlines the policy of the state government. So basically, governor tells us, gives us information regarding the state government for the whole their tenure, what the government or the state government or the chief minister, that particular party what they are going to do within their work tenure. So this is outlined by the governor of the state during the first session of the Vidhan Sabha and the Vidhan Parishad. The governor can return a bill to the state legislature for recommendation. Suppose Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad both passes the bill, and after passing that bill, it goes to the governor for the signing it. After his assent only, that bill becomes the law. So that bill, the governor can reconsider it. Means governor send back that bill to the legislative assembly or the legislative council for the checking purpose, for recommendation, for the reconsideration. Means that whether they can check it once more, that if there is any fault, if there is any change in that particular law. So for that, the governor has power to give some suggestion as well. He can recommend, he can reconsider it. But final, if it is agreed by the Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad, so final sign should be, the governor should be signed on that particular bill. He cannot make changes in it, but he can sign only, and after his signing, the bill can become the law. When the state legislature is not in session and the governor consider it necessary to pass a law, sometimes what happens, the session is not session is not running, and suppose if they have to take some important decision, in that situation the governor can issue ordinance. It's a special order that acts as a law as long as it remains in force. Means that for the particular time period, that ordinance will work on the behalf of the governor. When session opens, so that law that is given as an ordinance, that will convert into the order, or it becomes the law after the discussion between the legislative assembly and legislative council. So that ordinance becomes order or law after the discussion between the state legislatures, that is with Vidhan Parishad and the Vidhan Sabha. Money bill can be introduced in the state legislature assembly. So money bill can be introduced in only Vidhan Sabha, not in the Vidhan Parishad. So Vidhan Sabha, that bill, money bill, that is only on the prior recommendation of the governor. So whatever the money will be there, that is the most of the recommendation, means the changes or suggestion is given by the governor of the state for the particularly money. The governor has power to nominate the certain members to the state legislative council if state is bicameral. So in the last video I had explained that some of the person is appointed by the governor in the legislative council. So like they are the famous in their field, like art, science, literature, cooperative movement, social services. So the people, those who belongs to particularly this region, they can be appointed by the governor of the state as a member of the Vidhan Parishad. Also, governor can nominate one member from Anglo-Indian community. So governor has power to also nominate the Anglo-Indian one member from the Anglo-Indian community that I had explained in the last video. So these are the powers of the governor for the running of the state. So basically, the governor have several powers. He is not only the nominal head. He had also he or she or the governor had the some of the specific powers after the chief minister. Now there is one more power about the of the governor, that is known as discretionary power. So what is discretionary power? So basically, governor has authority to exercise his or her special powers called discretionary power. So this is his special power, special authority. So what is that? The governor uses discretionary power to appoint a chief minister when no party gets clear majority after the assembly election. Suppose if the election is held and none of the party got the majority of seats, and there are no party that can form the government. So in that situation, the governor has powers to choose one of them and assign as a chief minister of that particular state. So this is the discretionary power of the governor. And governor can also ask for the precedent rule in the state. So governor has power to what? They can ask for the precedent rule. Suppose if government is not working well, if there is a emergency situation some of type, so in that time the governor asks for the precedent rule. Means the precedent rule is to be imposed on that particular state in case of some emergency. When the state government loses the confidence of the legislative assembly and is dissolved. So this is the reason when the governor asks precedent for the implementation of the precedent rule in that particular state. So this is the discretionary power of the governor of the state. Now, in the last topic I had explained the advocate general. So basically, advocate general, that is appointed by whom? That is appointed by the governor, that I explained in the previous slide. So advocate general is appointed by governor of the state, and he is there for the helping on the legal background. Suppose if there is a case between the state government and between the court or judicial sector, so there the advocate general is there to take the charge of the state on the behalf of the state government. So there, for the legal function, the advocate general is there to fight with them. Also, he or she advises the state executive on the various legal matters. So state executives, I told you that governor and the chief minister and the council of ministers. So advocate general is there to help them. Whom? Chief minister, council of ministers, and the governor of the state. Also, a person who is qualified to be judge, high court judge, can be appointed as advocate general. So whosoever is there who is high court judge, means his qualification is up to the high court judge, that person is appointed as an advocate general. So advocate general is there for, he or she is there for the unlimited time. Means it is on the mercy of the government that the advocate general can be removed or the retired. Also, he must have the 10 year of advocate experience of advocate, 5 year of experience of high court judge, as well as he these are the qualifications for being the advocate general of particular state. Also, he has one power. Suppose in the state like Vidhan Parishad and Vidhan Sabha, if there is proceeding, if there is meeting is going on, session is going on, he or she can attend that meeting. He or she can take part and also suggest them, but for voting he cannot vote them. Means that suppose if law is there, only that advocate general suggest, but he cannot vote. Means his or her vote cannot be counted as for the recommendation of that particular bill. He can only suggest to the state legislature. So I explained you that when any bill is going to be passed, so during that time of period, the both houses comes together and they vote basically, and after voting 2/3 of the vote is to be counted. If they are voting for the particular law, that law is to be passed. That I explained in the previous video. So here advocate general suggests them, but they cannot vote on that particular bill. So this is also one of the power of the advocate general. Now, administration of union territory. So for the state of the India, there are several governors, those who run or take care of the state, but who are there to look after the union territories. So there are 9 union territories in our India. So that union territories are headed by the lieutenant governor or the chief commissioner. So the union territories is headed by these two. So there are 9 union territories, and union territories are there. So that territories are to be ruled by the governor of the state, the lieutenant governor, and they advises, or they are appointed by the President of India, and they also work on the advice of President of India. Means they cannot take the decision by their own. They will work on the advice of the President of India. Also, he or she passes the law of the union territories and oversee its administration. So whatever the law is to be made for that particular union territories, that is passed by him only, and also he is responsible for the look aftering of that particular union territory. So this is the power of the lieutenant governor for the union territories. Now move to the last, that is the civil services. So you have heard a different post about the civil services like IAS, PCS. You have heard a lot about them. So I am going to give you some of the examples about the bureaucrats. They are there to look after the judicial, particularly the judicial matter of that particular area. So they are, and these civil services, like in any of the state of India, the state legislature makes the law and executive execute the law. That I had explained. But the actual day-to-day administration of the state is carried out by a huge bureaucrat body called the civil services. So they are the responsible for administration, day-to-day administration in a state. They are the bureaucrats, and they are known as the civil servants or the civil services. Also, these officials are appointed by the Indian Administrative Service. So these, particularly the civil servants, they are appointed by a commission, that is the Indian Administrative Service or the IAS, or some are directly recruited by the state level through the State Public Service Commission examination. So this is another organization that is there for state level organization. This is the state level organization, and after passing these exams, the person can be eligible for the particular can be eligible for that particular state for being the bureaucrats of that particular area or the state. The civil services in the state are headed by the chief secretary. So who is the head of the civil services in the state level, basically any state? So this is the chief secretary, and chief secretary had a several work, like he or she has to look after the whole state, also take important decision, but they can only suggest to their the executive and legislature also, and look after the maintenance of the law and order, that all of the subjects that come under the administration of particular state, that is to be looked after by the civil services, and they are helping hand of the executive as well as legislature. So under the chief secretary there are different secretariats are there, and they have the different powers in their field, like there are some of the deputy secretary, joint secretary, under secretary, directors. So these are some of the posts, those who are helping the chief secretary. Or in class 6 you have read about a lot of about the district magistrate, that is the head of the particular district. So basically these are the points that you have to read about in this chapter of the state government. So in the whole chapter we have read different things about the state. It's about state legislature, state executive, and the civil servants or the bureaucrats. So we have read several points, several things I had explained, and now the chapter is finished. What you have to do about this chapter, you have to you have to write some of the points that I had explained in these videos, the rest videos as well. Also, if you have any queries, you can ask in the comment section. Now today's question is there. You have to find out some of the names of the particular of our state, means Uttar Pradesh state, like who is the governor of the state, who is the advocate general of our state, as well as who is the district magistrate of our city, that is the Gorakhpur. So you have to find out and write in your copy. Thank you, students.